Okay.
Do you get that?
Well, these are, I mean, that sums up puns, isn't it? It's things that kids get in a cracker. I think pun should be short for punch him in the mouth.
Idioms are better.
Go on then, what's an idiom? Is that a new word you made up?
No,
I think Karl Pilkington's a complete idiom.
I found out what it was because I thought, oh, I like them, what are they?
Right.
And it's like little sayings.
Yeah, that's right.
That sum stuff up.
Go on, give us an example of your favourite.
Oh, can I just say one, talking about sayings, Karl was getting fed up with something. He was fed up with not getting replies from something. He's having a hard time, and I went, oh, the worm has turned. He went, what? I went, the worm has turned, you've...
Stupid saying, isn't it?
No, well, okay, tell him why you think that's a stupid saying.
Because how do you know when a worm's turned? Of all the creatures that you could flip over and know it's turned, why pick a worm? It's the worst thing they could have picked to express something turning.
But you're taking turning literally. It means changing, doesn't it? Changing your attitude. A new broom, turning over a new leaf.
Yeah, but
things are going to be different now, and I'm sick of it.
Chameleon.
No, but
chameleon is a brilliant thing to use for something to change. Chuck that in a sentence. There's nothing that you can link a worm to human life to. You're talking about something that's... It's blind, isn't it? It's blind, it's deaf.
Gay.
It's got no features.
Why is he having such a go at a worm?
Just because it's a weird thing to use. Something that... Its arse is more... It does more than its head.
That could be said of you, Karl, to be fair.
We've talked about what art is, we've talked about painting, sculpture, we've talked about music briefly, we've talked about whistling over music to make it better. Poetry. A completely different type of art form there. Karl, what's your thoughts on poetry?
I've never really been a fan of it.
There's a surprise.
I think it's sort of... It's alright for the person who's doing it. You say that whistling is just for the whistler. But I think poetry's more like that, because sometimes you read it and you're thinking, what's he going on about? It's always a bit... I don't know, it's sold in a bad light. It's a bit sort of... a bit gay, innit?
Right.
I mean, it depends what sort you're talking about, because maybe there's poetry out there that I haven't heard.
There's some poetry gayer than others.
Yeah.
War poetry can't be gay, can it? That was people...
I haven't heard... Go on.
People fighting in the trenches and... They can't be gay. They weren't gay. They were writing to their sweetheart. I don't know his name. It might have been a bloke. I don't know. But
so was it a sort of a what sort of poem was it? Was it sort of a limerick? Sort of a
no. It was. Well, there's famous ones. Wilfred Owen and Siegfried Sassoon, and they're very moving. They're about what usually happens is that they talk about why are we here. This is we've been sold a lie here, and they really. We've started seeing war in a different light from their point of view in the trenches. Famously, some of them died soon after the
But I prefer a proper letter. No sort of crypticness. That's the problem with poems.
Okay, so you'd have been disappointed to get Dulce et Decorum Est through the post, would you? You'd have just said, "What are you trying to say, mate? What's the weather like? When you're coming home? Did you get my socks?"
Well, yeah. Sometimes life is a bit like that, and it's like, say what you mean.
Right. Well, then you have just wiped all art off the face of the earth if you literally just say what you mean.
No, I'm just saying in a letter. Say if I was a woman and my fella was fighting in a war.
Right. What's your fella's name?
Harry.
Okay, so Harry. Oh, let me get this right. So when were you married?
About 1935.
1935. So you've been married about 4 years.
Yeah.
Harry, why don't you go off? Oh, you're a woman, aren't you?
Yeah.
You don't. Okay. So what did you see in Harry? Why did you like Harry? Was he?
He just was like funny.
Butch.
He wasn't that butch, but that didn't matter back then, did it? In the war.
No. And you
took everyone.
But what did you say when Harry said to you?
Well, I thought it was coming because a lot of our friends ended up having to
Did you just
go
hug him and say don't go or something?
No point, because that would have just made it tough for him. So. What's the point? Just go with it.
But if he
I cried after he went.
You cried after he went?
That's what you do, innit? You wouldn't do it in front of him. He's got to go to battle.
Okay, so your man goes off to battle.
Right. Then I get a letter from the colonel saying, "Oh, bit of bad news. Harry's dead." Now, I get a letter in the post.
He said what he meant, didn't he? In the
Well, yeah, and they would do, wouldn't they? They wouldn't fanny around saying, "Oh, he was on the warpath and the cloud went dark." I go, "What? Just tell me what happened. I don't want a weather forecast."
he got shot at the arse and the bullet came out his head.
Right. Now, the colonel, he would just tell me the basics. Now, because he sent his by
Telegram.
Telegram, they sent a telegram.
Hmm.
The letter I get from Harry has been stamped, so I get it late.
Oh, okay.
So I get a letter from Harry after he's died.
Yeah.
Right, and you know he's dead.
I know he's dead, so I get this letter with his handwriting on. I'm devastated because I was just getting over his death.
Yeah.
It's all brought back to me when this letter drops through the post.
Well, yeah, 3
Right.
days and you're pretty much over it.
It's Harry's handwriting.
Yeah.
Oh God, what's this?
What's
now
he
I
written?
open it,
Yeah.
and instead of saying things are bad here, socks are damp, you know, everything's grim, it's cold, I'm sick of it. There's a poem. It wouldn't feel like it was from Harry.
Well, what,
Because it's not in his words. Poems are never in the person's words.
But didn't you know Harry was a poet when you married him and made love to him
No,
that
I only
night?
picked it up because other people were doing it. Something to do in the trenches.
But when he carried you over the threshold, Carl, and he laid you down and gently kissed you, didn't he say any? Didn't he ever show you?
He must have whispered some sweet nothings into
No,
your
it wasn't
hysterical
like
red
that.
head.
It wasn't
No,
like that. Straight
no.
to the point. It was like, get your knickers off.
That's one of the weirdest fucking scenarios I've ever heard. Why the fuck was the telegram coming before the letter? So specific. It wasn't like Harry. The fuck's Harry? Oh God! Oh God! Oh God! There are a few things gayer than poetry, though. I want to throw one into the pot. The continental breakfast.
Oh.
The continental breakfast. That annoys me when I see it. Who orders that? If you've got the choice of eggs, beans, burger, chips, sausages,
Bacon.
all that, you've paid for it already. If I was a waiter and someone said, what do you want for breakfast, mate? And the bloke went, oh, I'll just have a little bit of grapefruit juice and a croissant. I go, do you? Do you want some cum on that? Or you can go back to the hotel and suck a cock?
Yeah.
So,
No, I'm with you there.
What else is gayer than poetry? I remember when I was at school once, right? The worst thing you could be growing up was gay.
Yeah.
In school, it was the worst thing. It was and I remember I was about 14, 15. I was talking to this bloke. I talk about him on my stand-up. David Beasley. He's the one that said if you get captured by cannibals, they show you pornographic pictures when you're in the pot, so you get an erection. There's more meat to go around. So he was an idiot. He made Carl look smart.
Wow.
Really.
Wow.
He said, you know that thing that kids always do, what would you rather be, blind or deaf?
Yeah.
We did that, and we discussed that for a while, and he went, what would you rather be, blind or queer?
Mm.
And I went, well, I'd rather be gay, because...
Still got all your sights, yeah.
And he went, oh, would you? I went, well, yeah. Well, rather than be blind. I said, yeah. I said, also, if you were gay, you'd like being gay. He went, I wouldn't. I went, no, you would. I said, if you were gay, you would like being gay. He went, I wouldn't, Gervais. Sounds like you would. I went, well, if I was gay, I would like being gay. He went, well, I wouldn't. And he looked at me accusingly, and I went, no, nor would I, but gays would. Which made no sense at all.
Right, yeah.
Just
yeah,
the idea,
yeah.
but this is just like such a stonewall that I'd rather be anything than gay.
Yeah.
Carl, thoughts? Blind or gay?
This is about art, is it?
So there you have it, our comprehensive and definitive guide to the arts. Next in this series is philosophy.
Well, I'm looking forward to that one enormously, Rick, because of course you have a honours degree from the University of London in philosophy.
Yes, but I predict that that one will also be as big a load of bollocks as all the others we've done. Thank you.
Just to remind you that you can still get the Ricky Gervais Guide to Medicine, the Ricky Gervais Guide to Natural History, and now, of course, the Ricky Gervais Guide to the Arts.
And it's like how you enjoy, you know, I love munchies,
Yeah.
but I always enjoy the last one more than...
Well, that doesn't make sense. That goes totally counter to your argument.
No, because it's from one packet.
What?
It's from one packet.
What difference does that make? The first one's surely your favourite.
So hold on. So if you were to have one munchie, I'll go as a munchie, mate. you
No.
go, I'm not going to take one unless I can have all of them, particularly the last one.
But what is...
Well, no, I'd like to have them all, please.
What? No, you can't have them all. Don't be so greedy. Have one munchie. Have the first munchie. There
But
you
I'm
go.
going to have one, and I'm then going to get a taste for them, and I'll probably want another.
Well, no, they're my munchies, though, aren't they?
I'll
Do you
keep them then, forget it.
Well, look, so you'd rather have no munchies than one munchie?
I'll go and buy a packet. I'd prefer to go, do you know what? I fancy a packet of them.
But why do you enjoy why do you enjoy the last munchie more than the first? Whereas
you know
you
that's the
enjoy the
last
first
one.
curry, but not the
But
second
you know it's
curry.
the last one.
Because I'm eating them all in one sitting. I'm not going, that's for Monday, that's for Tuesday, that's for Wednesday. I'm
Right.
talking about a packet of munchies.
Right.
I eat them. There's probably about 12 in a packet.
Okay.
I shove the first 4 in without even thinking what I'm eating.
You shoved the first 4 in!
Without even
Right.
thinking about what I'm
Right.
eating.
Now, then when you're getting towards the end, you make them last more. You might bite the top of them. You look what's inside them. You go, I'm liking this.
But hold
that
on,
last
what,
one-
every time?
What, every time you buy a packet of munchies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hold on, though. You must enjoy a packet of munchies regularly, then?
Not as often as you think. They have an
I don't
offer on
know.
them.
Well,
No
it's not
opinion.
as I think. I don't know. So tell me how often you enjoy a packet of munchies.
Normally after sort of maybe once a month.
So, every month, you look forward to a lovely packet of munchies. And the same experience.
Yeah,
You
but
like
at
the
the
first
end, I
one.
like the last one.
The only thing you know you enjoy, look forward to enjoy, and it fulfills all those expectations is a fucking packet of munchies once a month. Fuck me. What do you think happiness is?
Again, you only know the happiness because of the badness. You've got to
Well-
have a yin and a yang.
Well, I know what you mean there. I agree with you on this because it's sort of no good to be handed it on a plate. I mean, just from my own experience, working for someone does feel better because you've got a pride and a satisfaction. I genuinely think it's better to start a business, struggle, go bust, come back, than win the lottery.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that, and the older I get, the more sure I am of that. That working hard is itself the reward, and I genuinely believe that. But where does it end? It's no point having the struggle till you die and never get any happiness. So what's your balance? We don't have to go into philosophical terms here. What's your balance? What's your yin and yang of a good life? And by good life, I mean one that you've enjoyed or been satisfied with, and one that you have no regrets or guilt or shame, and a bit of pride.
What are you asking me? Yeah, I've got a bit of all that.
Right?
But you need the mixture, don't you? So you find out what your favourite thing is. It's like a bag of Revels.
Yeah, but you can't cherish guilt or shame.
Did you just say life is like a bag of Revels? Isn't that dangerously close to life's like a box of chocolates?
in Forrest Gump over there? Yeah.
No,
Jesus.
but it is, isn't it? There's one or two in there that I don't like.
Like what?
The raisin.
No.
With chocolate.
Yeah, no.
Now what I'm saying is-
metaphorically, what's the
Yeah, well, I'm
actually
using-
named what Revel he doesn't like?
Yeah, well, I'm telling you because it works in life.
Go on then.
But the Revel
You like
is
raisins?
there.
Go on.
Well, maybe if you have enough raisin ones,
Yeah.
you eventually go, do you know what? They're not that bad.
What?
And that's the thing in life.
Well, hold on, wait a minute. So what are you saying? Where's this metaphor? Are you saying suddenly all the bad things in life are pretty good, actually, if you just
Well,
get used to them?
sometimes out of bad comes some good.
Go on.
At the end of the day, the Revel thing.
What happened to the munch here?
Well, again, with life, if you have too much munchies, you get sick of the munchies. So move on, mix it up. What mixes it up? Bag of Rebels. You've got a bit of everything in there.
Right.
So even the ones you don't like, you might like in the end. You'll go, do you know what? I was
Okay,
wrong. I was wrong
lose the
judging."
analogy now. Actually, just talking about rebels now in life. What about what has he enjoyed before?
What would you have written to Jim will fix it to fix for you? What would have given you pleasure as a kid? Dear Jim, can you fix it for me to do what?
When I watched Jim will Fix It as a kid, they never really lived up to what the kid wanted, did they?
But what would you have requested?
But I don't think I would, because I think I saw how disappointed most of the kids were.
God, it's
A kid
exhausting.
like whistling, they brought out
This is
Roger Whittaker.
exhausting.
Yes, because they look at it, they go, can you fix it for me to go into space? No. Can I dance for Bananarama? No problem. That's the ones they pick.
Yeah, so
Do you know
that's
what I
why I
mean?
wouldn't write in, because whatever you ask for, you're always going to get a watered down version.
But if Jim could fix it for you to do anything, what would you have chosen?
There's not many things I wanted as a kid.
One
though.
thing. Just one thing. To choose one thing, please.
That my name was Brett.
I mean, it's extraordinary.
There was no predicting that.
Okay, you know what? I can make that dream come true for you right now, Brett.
We can just call you Brett from now on.
Not a problem, Brett.
Brett Pilkington.
It sounds good.
I love the fact that it's the Carl bit he wants to replace, not the fucking
No, but
Pilkington.
that doesn't work either, because like then
Why not, Brett?
because
Okay.
I told my mum and dad that that's what I wanted. They started calling me that, but then I forgot that.
They went along with it.
Yeah,
So you said, Mum, Dad, call me Brett from now on. And they went, alright.
yeah, but then I kept forgetting that I was Brett, so I wasn't answering, so they went back to Carl.
It's amazing!
So you've had that dream come true.
Yeah, and it wasn't that good, and that's what I'm saying to you. Things never live up to what you want. Dreams, what are they?
Taking one of the big themes of philosophy further, why are we here? What's the point of life? What is it to be human? The ethical upshots of some of the technological and medical breakthroughs pose, you know, more of their own questions. Cloning, is that a person in its own right? Well, of course it is. What about if you grow that for harvesting without the brain?
So growing kind of vital organs,
Yeah.
presumably in a laboratory.
What about that? You know, stem cell research. Is that, you know?
I mean, there's weird things happening all the time with all this transplant stuff. Read about one who, you know, a way of sort of, you're saying, oh, it's just a bit of meat.
Yeah.
You're saying, no, it doesn't.
No, what I
matter.
meant, organs can't have rights and feelings.
No, but
and
listen
stuff.
to this.
Go on.
So
It's going to be bullshit.
no,
No, the senses went up.
Would you like a small wager?
Beep, beep, beep. The senses went up when he said, right, listen to this.
Okay, I'm going to bet you £5, Rick, that this is not bullshit. Don't let me down, Carl.
Okay, I'm going to bet you they found out it was the heart of a chimp and the bloke's selling like bananas.
Okay.
And the doctor bought it half price at a market.
I've got faith in Carl. I don't think he's going to let me down here. Not when we're talking about philosophy. He's going to have done some careful research.
Okay.
Let's take a wager. £5 is coming my way.
so what happened is, do you know like people do donor cards?
Mm-hmm.
Someone filled one out saying, if I die, you can have my kidney. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, he died. He said, get the kidney out. He got the kidney out of him. Someone who needed a new kidney, they were like over the moon. There's a new kidney on the way. But this person who who needed the new kidney had a couple of things.
What?
He wasn't very good at driving,
Yeah.
and he couldn't stand yellow biscuits.
Right.
Could stand yellow biscuits.
Okay.
He just didn't like them. There was
Okay.
something, he didn't know why, he's just never liked them. Anyway, they pop it in, he's having his tests done, he's in hospital for a couple of days, goes home, goes, could do with a yellow biscuit.
What's the fuck's a yellow biscuit?
Just a
Banana baldies. What are you talking about?
just a yellow biscuit.
Who decides? I like all biscuits except yellow ones. Where is this
I'm just telling you what
supermarket?
happened,
Right.
and it
Well, I don't
turned
know
out
why. I don't know what the colour of the biscuit's necessarily got to do with it.
It's like a phobia. It's an odd phobia.
Oh, so he fears the combination of yellowness and biscuitiness.
Right, so a bloke...
He doesn't mind biscuits. I don't mind yellow. Don't ever put them together. That's my worst nightmare.
So, right, I'm confused as to who's got what, whose kidney. There's a bloke's received a new kidney. He hated biscuits.
He's
that
not
were
very good
yellow.
at driving. He hates custard creams.
Right, but now, suddenly, after the hospital after the operation, I really fancy yellow biscuit.
Yeah.
Okay, does he go out for a drive at any point?
He went driving. And
Right, because he's going to be terrible.
He loves driving.
All over the road.
What? Hold on, what? He loved driving.
He liked driving all of a sudden.
What? But he hated it.
I know, but this is what's weird.
It's bollocks. The kidney is a filter system.
But if you have something for long
It's
enough,
like getting a new tea strainer and suddenly liking yellow biscuits and driving.
no,
The kidney has no impact on anything.
no. It's like how if you knock about with someone, you pick up their little things that they do. Suzanne kept saying to me, "That's a nonsense." I said, "Stop saying that. You've suddenly picked that up from someone." I said, "You've never said that before." You've done it 3 times in about 2 days. And and it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Christ. Living with Carl. He doesn't like me saying nonsense. I don't know why.
But let's be honest, if you're going to live with Carl, you're going to use the phrase, that's nonsense.
You're going to start
quite a
coming
lot.
up with more and more bollocks, nonsense, rubbish, shit. So you would you'd have someone else's cock and bollocks, but then you wouldn't donate yours to someone
But
else.
what about this? What if you discovered later, right, that the person who donated the cock and bollocks, right, was a sex pervert? was a homosexual sex pervert?
I don't think though that I'd bother looking into the history of these cock and bollocks.
You
It's
just
not
accept
like
them.
you know.
You accept them willy-nilly, but what if you just found out by
That
chance?
was his name. That was his name, Willy Nilly. That was his stage name. And
What
he'd
if you
come on and
found
show
out
him off
by
and they-
chance?
How do I find out by chance? What's the scenario
They
there?
say, well, the doctor goes, I should tell you, I know you believe in a load of shit about yellow biscuits and bollocks like that, so I'll just tell you in case anything goes weird, this was a sex pervert's cock and bollocks, so if you find that you're sticking these through letterboxes, don't worry, it's not your fault, it's where they wanted to have gone. That's
Would it concern you if you accepted the cock and bollocks that had a past like that?
Yeah, because the problem is, it wouldn't be that bad if I had his eyes,
why?
because then I'm seeing what he wants to see, and
That doesn't
that's
make
what
any
it-
sense at all,
But-
Carl.
but
Completely.
unfortunately-
It makes no sense at all.
The match is wrong. The eyes don't go with the cock and bollocks anymore.
I don't know.
So something's going to lose out here. Either the cock and bollocks, they're not going to get what they want anymore, or the eyes are going to be upset.
So are you scared of the idea, to go back to your yellow biscuit analogy, that the cock and bollocks you inherit, that whatever the previous owner did with them,
Lives on.
that
Bollocks.
scares you, does it?
Okay, there's one final scenario here, Carl. Okay. You haven't opted out, so your organs go to where they like. Now, unbeknownst to you, there's a big waiting list. There's a thing they've got all your details, and you said, yeah, whatever. I don't want to know. You wouldn't want to know, would you, after you die, where it goes? You say, I don't, because you've said you don't want to know. If you don't know, you have a lovely life. When you die, they can go anywhere. They can do what they will. Okay. Now, unbeknownst to you, they have got it down. They've donated your arse, right, for use to a gay rapist with AIDS. Okay, so they are saving a life there. So when you die, they go, right, it's still warm, get that gay rapist with AIDS round here, because that's going to stop him raping someone, give him AIDS. He comes round, he's straight up there. He's shagging you, right? You're basically saving a life, right? By letting him do that.
Sorry, I'm confused here.
What?
Why is the gay rapist with AIDS got the arse? What's
No,
he doing?
he's still connected to Carl. They've donated the arse, so when Carl dies, the doctors go, right, we're going to stop a terrible thing here.
So the gay rapist can shag the arse?
he shags, comes round, he shags Carl, gets out of his system and goes, phew, that stopped me.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Right, so
So it's just Carl's disembodied arse on a...
No, it's the whole Carl.
Oh, is that putting Carl's dead?
So Carl gets struck and he's having a heart attack. They go, free, clear. They go, no, we've lost him. At 10:01, they go, oh, he's a arse donor. And they go, okay, where's the nearest gay rapist with AIDS live? Next door. Get him round here. They go, okay, the gay rapist comes round and goes, where is he? Right? He goes, there he is, right? So Carl is face down. Now they turn him over, they go, there's the arse, you've got 10 minutes, then we got to bury him.
I'm surprised you didn't know this guy was living next door.
Right. So the gay rapist gets on top. He goes, right, this is lovely, right? He's loving it. He's shagging you. Right now, this is the weird thing. The doctors next door. They go, okay, the gay rapist will be finished soon, and then we have to bury him. But we should inform his next of kin. They go, oh, it's Suzanne. They go, your husband's dead. He's out of touch. She goes, oh my God, come round and just identify the body. I'd leave it a couple of minutes, but then come round. She goes, oh God, I'll be right there. So Suzanne's on her way. The gay rapist, right? He's pummeling you away, right? But you will not believe this.
Oh my God.
The movement and the way he's shagging you, right, has started your heart.
Wow.
Right?
This is a stroke of amazing good fortune.
Right? So you go, he goes, right? He, right, has a heart attack. Right? And he flops down on you. He just like headbutts the back of your head. So now, you're both naked, this gay rapist is up your arse, he's dead, right? The shock, so you go, fuck me, how can I get out of this, right? You wriggle, you fall onto the floor. So now, he's on the bottom, face up, you're on top of him, he's still in you. His cock is up your arse, you're sat on him, wriggling, Suzanne walks in, goes, Carl, what the fuck are you doing?
She's heard about me being dead, and because she's come to the hospital.
She goes, and they go, he's in there, and she goes, he's not dead, I can see him. They go, oh, because it's terrible. She bursts in, there you are, on top of him, wriggling to try and get his knob out your arse, right? You're sitting on a man who's dead. What do you say?
I'd just say we got to join Booper.
Very hard, isn't it, to imagine yourself a different period in time and how you would have reacted. Now, if you think about America in the 1950s, black people still very much second-class citizens. You've obviously heard of the famous Rosa Parks incident, in which she was obliged to move on the bus from where she was sat to somewhere else, and she chose not to, and she was arrested for it. Became very much a sort of figurehead of the civil rights movement. Had you been travelling on that bus,
what would you do?
And am I far from where I'm getting off?
So once again, you can't just nip out at the next stop so you can wash your hands of the whole affair. No, you're on that bus, you've still got a number of stops. You live further away than Rosa does, because you've got a lovely big house, whereas obviously she doesn't have a lovely place, she can't afford it. So you've got to stay on that bus. You've seen this now, you've seen this bus driver demanding that she gets up, gives up that seat. Maybe she's given up that seat for you. Maybe you've got on that bus as a privileged white man, and she refuses to get up on your behalf.
I'd probably go, it's alright, I'm standing, I'm alright.
But why would you say that? Because you're thinking of the modern day Carl, you're not thinking of the man from the 1950s.
Well, the thing is, we don't have to go back in time, or we can go to a country now where you'd see an injustice, where you were outnumbered by the law of the land. What if Suzanne wasn't allowed to sit with you on buses? What if now a law came in that women were second-class citizens and she can't come with you? Wouldn't you go, no, fuck that, she's sitting with me?
I'd say we're only going around the block. We've been to the shopping centre. Be only 15 minutes. Can you take that bag with you, because there's no one sat next to you down here? I'm a bit crammed in up here. There's more blokes on the bus. I'll see you in a minute. It's not a big issue. I've done it on the train, where I've booked tickets and they've ended up being different tickets. And I've gone, I'll see you in an hour and a half. I've got an iPod.
But
so you went first class and she was in the
that's luck. That's luck. That's circumstance. One is policy. Surely you can just see the difference between a principle and a bit of luck.
But it's what you get used to at the end of the day. I mean, I'm not walking past and slapping them on the back of the head. I'm getting on, and it's just that's where they sit, that's where we sit. Like men and women going into a separate toilet.
Carl, let's put this to I mean, obviously, this is too much for your head to... You're on a bus, right, and there's a few white people, and they're...
I'm the driver.
And they're being racist to a black kid.
Right, I'd go, if I'm driving, I'd go, listen, lads, stop that, will you?
If you're going to be racist, can you get off at the next stop and do it there?
Well, you know, we've all had a tough day. It's the end of the day. We just all want to go home. We've all been working. Right. He's not in your way. He's sat in his own seat. Sit back. Calm down. Had enough.
But what if they said, no, we usually sit there, we want that seat? Would you think the black kid's a troublemaker? Or just would you go, come on, just move, mate, it'll be peaceful?
I'd go, what do you want to do? Do you want to move so this is calm down? Or
No, you shouldn't say that. He doesn't matter if he wants to move or not. It's his right not to move.
Do what you want, then. If you want to stay there and fight your own
No.
corner.
He wants to stay there. Don't you surely you want to be on the side of right.
I'm just doing my job here. I'm sat driving a bus. I'm driving a bus for 30 quid a week here. I'm getting a load of grief off some people at the end of the day.
But think bigger than the bus rule. It's not just a bus thing, alright? Just imagine that you're not a bus driver. Alright,
no, but that's what we're talking about here.
But yes, but Ricky's trying to make a point. It's an analogy again. It's about you taking some kind of responsibility that could put you in harm's way. Yeah. That could mean that you've got to stand up to danger or to bullies or to aggression.
If someone's attacking Suzanne, she goes, Carl, help. You go, no, I could get her here.
Because I know the full story here. But this is what I'm saying about Rosie, what's it? I'm just saying, she sat on the bus. How did it work? She got on the bus, she sat where she wanted.
No, I'll tell you how it worked. The middle section of the bus, black people could sit there, but it was up to the driver's discretion to change where black people could sit, depending on the number of white passengers that got on. So she sat in a seat, some more and more white passengers get on, so this bloke decides, well, no, actually, this is no longer the black section, there is no black section, because there's enough white people, you've got to stand up. And she decided, no, I'm not going to get up. It's my right to be able to sit on this bus, as a person, as a human being, not whether or black or white. And that was why she got arrested.
Well, she lost in the end, didn't she?
What do you mean she lost in the end? There's a black president.
Yeah, but it's not because of her getting on a bus. That's just because times changed.
Yes, in a way it is.
I don't know.
Because she became a spearhead of the civil rights movement that was spearheaded by Martin Luther King.
All those little things go towards change.
On a different bus, on a different day, it might not have turned out that way. That's what I'm saying. It might have been, you know, someone else who goes, get off, who's been in a right mood, might have been in the pub all afternoon. And she's there going, I'm not moving, and he's fed up, he's up to here with it.
Sorry, so she's pissed up now?
She's pissed up now.
No, the person sat next to her.
Yeah.
Might have even been a black bloke who's been working hard, and he's like, I don't want this.
But it's interesting you say
The
that.
bus pulls over, the police are called in.
But you say this, it's interesting you say that, because in the Rosa Parks incident, there were a number of other black men, all of whom did stand up. I think 5 of them were there, and 4 of them stood up, and she stayed sat down. So there was 4 people there who did choose the easier route, the easier life, and she stayed sat down, and she's the one who went to prison, and she's the one who's remembered, because of what she did on that day.
It's difficult, isn't it? If I was on there, I'd weigh her up. You know, is this woman doing this as like a good cause, or is she just a trouble causer? Because she just seemed like, you know, I'll do what I want. Now that's fine. You'll always get people who do what they want, and they do change the little rules along the way. But I bet when she was doing it, it wasn't like a big stand up. This is the day I'm going to do it. It's just happened to. She was fed up that day. She didn't want to get up. Lazy. She might just go around law breaking all the time, and she's remembered now because she'd made a change about bus seats. Well, when she got up that morning, did she say I'm going to do that, or has she been fly tipping before she got on the bus? This is what I'm saying. Is she just a you know?
No, she's not a troublemaker. She's someone who already had a burgeoning interest in the civil rights. I mean, I really thought the Rosa Parks incident was pretty cut and dry.
The
fact that Carl's managed to find an ambiguity in it is extraordinary.
I love it.
Tell me something else about Rosie Parks.
Oh, for God's sake, I don't know what she's got to do to win you round, Carl. Honestly, I didn't realise it would be this difficult.
Round-headed fool, you've picked that from someone. You've used that 200 times in the last 3 minutes.
Head like a fucking orange.
Stupid fucking bald cunt. Where'd you get that from, Suzanne?
I've said it 3 times just during breakfast.
Now, dim-witted half.
Steve, £5.
Yep.
A big question, particularly in the area of philosophy of the mind, is what is intelligence?
It's just it's what you know, isn't it?
Well, that's knowledge, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it's a form of knowledge, intelligence.
No, I don't think it is.
Why not?
Because intelligence really is everything from the ability to retain knowledge, to understand it, to apply. It's probably a little bit like the difference between how fast the computer is and how good the program on that computer is.
It's no good. I'd say I've got a brain that can work stuff out. But sometimes if I tell it too much, it can't remember all of it. Now if I had a brain that had loads of memory space,
Yeah.
tell me as much as you want.
Well, that's important. That's
And you
important
keep
to
it.
But yeah, but that some people say that's what intelligence is, isn't it? Memory. It's no good saying he's brilliant. He learns 10,000 facts a day. Really? Yeah, he forgets them the next day.
Yeah. Well, that's
Right.
what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, but what good is that? Trivia is nothing. It doesn't
it's
show
good.
intelligent.
It's
It doesn't.
good for chat. It's good for chat, and when you're out and about, if you meet a stranger, it's good to drop something in, like, you know.
Go on.
What would you drop in?
To show you're intelligent.
Well, just to meet you've just met me at the bus stop. You think here's a nice fella.
Steve's at the bus stop. There he is. He's there. He's got his little duffel coat on, his little scarf, his file. He's got his little glasses. They're a little bit mudded up, where some ruffians are like thrown mud at him, and I've seen this, and he's cried and he shat himself.
Well, that's not true.
Yeah, and he's run to the bus stop to go home to his mum.
That's not true at all.
So at the bus stop, there he is. You come along, you go, oh, who's this nerd who shat himself?
That
Right?
would never happen.
Right,
Never
right,
happen.
and you
I'd have
sit-
thought that I'd have had a fight with him.
Yeah, and you go, okay, he's obviously intellectual, look at him, and he's gone, and he's looked at you, and he's gone, Jesus Christ, you look thick. Prove him wrong.
No, what I'd do...
Go on.
There's no point just having one fact.
Right.
I'd wait for him to start a topic, and I'd show my intelligence by having a fact on the topic he's brought up.
Okay.
Because we can all have one topic
Yeah.
that you go, I'll show this off, and then, someone goes, has he been talking to you about the peanut fact again? And
Yeah.
you go, he's obviously telling everyone, then it's just a boring answer.
Okay, so I might just say to you, what are your views on mathematics?
I'd just say the thing with numbers is, there's loads of them.
I remember I told you an interesting fact, once again, to try and explain infinity to you, and I told you this. There are as many even numbers as even and odd numbers put together.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I think I've said before that I don't think things like that are impressive, because numbers are man-made anyway.
Right.
If you were talking about, like, when you mentioned about there's more insects we don't know about than what we do, then you're going, where are they? Where are they hiding? It leaves a question. The fact that there's loads of numbers, it's like, yeah, but at the same time, you could rule numbers out of your life if you wanted to.
Really?
You could live a life.
Do you really think that?
Difficult.
Yeah, you could. There's tribes. There's tribes in the Amazon.
Yeah, but they're not
They
getting
only
their food
counted-
from Sainsbury's, are
No,
they?
They count to 3. They don't need any more numbers than 3, and they just have 3 because they go 1. They know what 1 is. They go, pass us one of them. And you have one of them.
What do you mean?
Anything
What
over,
do you say when
anything
they
over
say-
3, they just say, you're being greedy. So they don't need it.
What if they've got 5 children?
How many kids you've got when you're living in a place like that, it doesn't matter. It's not about, you're just part of the tribe,
Yeah.
so it doesn't matter.
Right, where is this tribe that only counts to 3?
It's somewhere like the Amazon or something,
Really?
and there's no more numbers than 3. They don't need it. Anything more than 3, they just say, I'll have more,
Right.
or give us another 3. But
Give us another 3?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
or another 1, or another 2.
But what if they need 200? That's complicated, isn't it?
Well, you just keep going, give us 3, and then just keep
That seems
asking
a
for
slow
3.
way of doing it.
They've got nothing else to do. They're living in the Amazon.
Alright, I'm at the bus stop.
Oh, where's your bus?
So far, you've told me nothing about maths whatsoever.
So you're concluding that he is dim?
Fucking idiot.
When I was on holiday recently,
Yeah.
I got talking to an old fella, because where I went, it's mainly for old people. I got chatting with him. You could tell he had a lot of money.
Yeah.
He sort of tanned. He had that sort of rouge-coloured sort of jeans,
Oh, yeah.
which is always sort of...
Telltale sign.
It's kind of like he's got money.
Yeah.
And,
The red jeans are twice as much, sir. That's okay, I've got money.
yeah, it's either that colour or yellow. But you can carry it off when you're an old man, and especially with the tan, you think, yeah, he's got a few quid.
I'm a millionaire. Do you have any yellow jeans? We've got one pair, sir, but
For the
no one...
most expensive
Yeah,
one.
they're in the back room. Can I just see your bank account first? There it is. Oh, yeah, you can afford yellow jeans, all right, sir. Come this way.
So I got talking to him, and it turns out he had a cruise ship.
Right.
Loads of money. Now, I was chatting to him for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
What colour was his jacket?
Said he didn't have a jacket on, just a white shirt.
He's wearing red jeans and a white shirt.
Yeah, sort of leather slip-on shoes that I can remember.
And how old is he?
It's hard to tell because he was well tanned.
Was he an attractive man?
He's a good-looking fella.
So he's rich. So you saw this rich, good-looking bloke with just a shirt on.
Oh, he had a shirt and his pink pants.
His pink pants, and he just went over and struck up a conversation.
I don't know. Why did you notice what colour the crotch area was?
What?
Why did you notice what
You were
colour
looking very much at the arse
I
and the
can see
crotch
why
area.
you could see if you're looking at his face, you can see a white shirt.
I'll
But
tell
why
you
did you
why.
see
I'll tell you
what
why.
colour
This is what I'm telling
the
you.
fabric around his
This is what
testicles
I'm
were?
saying.
You saw a good-looking old man sat at the bar. You went out and bought him a drink.
Yeah, you
I was waiting
noticed
for the
it,
barbecue to open.
right? Okay, and
I
you
got
noticed
there
a man's.
early.
So you noticed
So
a
it was
man's
9 in the morning.
trousers.
No.
Yeah, no.
I was annoyed. I
Right.
don't like late nights on holiday.
Okay.
With jet lag. Suzanne said, let's go down there early tonight.
Right.
I get there, I find out the barbecue's not for another 40 odd minutes.
What time was
The
it?
holiday rep. Well, I don't know, it starts at 8.
You're
so I have to
noticing
wait for
people.
40
You're
minutes.
noticing old men's genital coverings, but you don't know what fucking time it is.
Yeah, but
Get your story
What I'm
straight.
saying to you is, the reason I noticed his pants is because what he was talking about,
Right.
there was no reference points. I didn't have a clue what he was going on about.
Right. What was he talking about for your eyes to wander down to his penis, is what I'm trying to say. What made you look at his penis?
Because I got bored. I didn't know. What I'm trying to say to you is his reference points. I had no idea
what was
he
he
was going on
talking
about.
about?
He was talking about how he was in some Cuban war. He told me about how he'd met President Reagan. He told me something about how he'd cut up a cow once. There was
This bloke, I think he's a maniac
It's a fucking
who has
Dexter.
spilled blood on his trousers
Yeah.
whilst hacking up his dead wife. He's gone insane. He's jithering and chatting away, claiming he owns a cruise ship.
he told me he spent 36 grand on furniture. And when I sort of looked at him like, what have you been
beautiful.
buying? And he's going, oh, well, I needed a couple of shade lounges. And it was just, there was nothing I could relate to.
Wasn't she in a TV series?
I don't understand why you have no interest in either being in a Cuban war, having met Ronald Reagan.
Because-
why is that not interest? Why have you got
because I
no
didn't know
reference?
I don't
anything.
know why the trousers were much more appealing to you. If someone was telling me,
Tell you what, I was in a war,
and then
I met Che Guevara, Fidel Castro.
and then why are you looking at my packet?
So that's my point. It's just
What's
that,
your point?
that you can have a chat with a fella just like I'm talking to the geek at the bus stop. And
He even pointed.
sometimes
What?
you can't take part. What am I meant to say about him meeting Reagan? What am I meant to say about him being in the
Aren't you
Cuban
interested
War?
to ask him questions about he was in a war?
When I sort of took it back to, I wonder what meat they're doing at the barbecue, he wasn't bothered.
Yeah.
I love the fact that that's your contribution. He's talking about the missile crisis, and you're going, oh,
He's met
what-
presidents and
Yeah.
important people. He's experienced extraordinary
You
things,
see,
which
the
would be
language-
fascinating to anyone. And you're not interested. You just want to know whether there's sausages.
But I mean, there it is, you see. He's come down, he's looked at you without prejudice and thought, I don't know this guy. The language barrier probably saved you, and he thought he's probably a smart guy. I'll tell him a bit about my life.
He
Why is he
listened
looking at
to me.
my
Why is he
fucking
looking
ass?
at my meat?
Why is he looking at my meat and two veg? You know, like the barbecue, you don't need the barbecue, it's a lovely little fucking sausage here.
When you're talking to a stranger, aren't you meant to keep it
Above the waist,
keep it
looking at his bollocks,
to
erect. I made Carl laugh. Well, there you have it. The in-depth study of the mother of science, the Ricky Gervais Guide to Philosophy. You can still enjoy the back catalogue of these guides, medicine, natural history, and the arts, and seasons 1 to 5 of the Ricky Gervais Show. Over the last few years, with all our explorations, our studies, what have you learnt? What's the one big thing you've learnt since we've been doing this, since you've met myself and Stephen, since we've been prodding you, since we've treated you like an ape that we want to teach to speak? What have you learnt about yourself and the world? One thing, if you had to take it with you.
No, I don't think I've learned anything that substantial
Ever?
during all this. There's not been anything groundbreaking, has there? We've chatted about midgets with no arms and legs, gay ones. I don't know if that will ever crop up again in a chat. So even if I've learned something from it, I don't think it'll ever crop up again. So it's no use. That's what I'm saying to you about information and intelligence. It's if you can use it. There's
So
no
you're
point having a
saying
brainy head.
this series of audiobooks at the price of £1.95 is absolutely worthless and pointless?
Yeah, I suppose it is, yeah.
Thanks, good night. Testing.
Better level, Steve.
This is almost the environment more than
It is
the
really,
Earth,
isn't it?
really?
Yeah.
Have we already publicised it as the Earth?
Well, yeah, but it doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, but that's fine. The Earth.
Why is
We
it called
talked-
the Earth?
Well, no, we talked about what? I said, what do you mean? Why is it called the Earth?
You mean why is the Earth called the Earth?
It's
Why is
just
Mars
something
called
I never
Mars?
say. I never say Earth. I always say world.
Well, it depends.
It's not called the world, is it? Because a world is, it's relative. Mars is a world. It's the world because it's our world, but there are many worlds, aren't there? You could say the world of something. You couldn't say the Earth of something. The Earth is the name of the planet.
But when do we need that?
What?
When do we need to say the Earth?
When we're referring to the Earth.
When does that ever happen?
Well, for instance, right now, when we're talking about the Earth, being that this is the name of
If
this.
I was in a-
to distinguish it from other planets.
If I was in, I know, but when's that ever going to be a problem for me?
What? Well, it's not. What? It's not all about you.
If I was in a rocket,
Yeah, right, here we go.
I'm sat at the front. I look in,
He's got a good seat. Yeah.
The pilot goes, Carl, come up here, mate.
and I look in the mirror, and I see
Mirror. Mirror in the rocket. Mirror, check, reverse, indicate. Brilliant.
and I see the world. I'd say, look, oh, doesn't the world look magnificent?
You go. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I'd say it. I wouldn't say Earth. I wouldn't dream of using the word Earth.
But then you're in a you could say, well, this is our world now for the next year. This is our world. This spaceship.
I say no, not really. I'll
is,
always be
mate.
looking back over there. I'm looking at there's our world. There's England. There.
Not anymore, mate. We're moving to Mars. We're going to start a whole new world. Oh, which world are you talking about, Carl? Let's call it the Earth and Mars, like we always have, you dopey cunt. It is
The
really,
Earth,
isn't it?
really?
The
Have we
Earth.
already publicised it as the Earth?
Well, yeah, but it doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, but that's fine. The Earth.
Why is it
We
called
talked-
the Earth?
Well, no, we talked about what? I said, what do you mean? Why is it called the Earth?
You mean why is the Earth called the Earth?
It's
Why is
just
Mars
something
called
I never
Mars?
say. I never say Earth. I always say world.
Well, it depends. It's not called the world, is it? Because a world is, it's relative. Mars is a world. It's the world because it's our world, but there are many worlds, aren't there? You could say the world of something. You couldn't say the Earth of something. The Earth is the name of the planet.
But when do we need that?
What?
When do we need to say the Earth?
When we're referring to the Earth.
When does that ever happen?
Well, for instance,
What do you
right
mean?
now, when we're talking about the Earth, being that this is the name of
If
this.
I was in a-
to distinguish it from other planets.
If I was in, I know, but when's that ever going to be a problem for me?
What? Well, it's not. What? It's not all about you.
If I was in a rocket,
Yeah, right, here we go.
I'm sat at the front. I look in,
He's got a good seat. Yeah.
The pilot goes, Carl, come up here, mate.
and I look in the mirror, and I see
Mirror. Mirror in the rocket. Mirror, check, reverse, indicate. Brilliant.
and I see the world. I'd say, look, oh, doesn't the world look magnificent?
You go. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I'd say it. I wouldn't say Earth. I wouldn't dream of using the word Earth.
But then you're in a you could say, well, this is our world now for the next year. This is our world. This spaceship.
I say no, not really.
It
I'll always
is,
be
mate.
looking back over there. I'm looking at there's our world. There's England. There.
Not anymore, mate. We're moving to Mars. We're going to start a whole new world. Oh, which world are you talking about, Carl? Let's call it the Earth and Mars, like we always have, you dopey cunt. That's the name of this planet
But
we're on.
that's what I'm saying, though. It's not our problem. We're never going to leave it. So it's our world. So leave it as world. It's a bit of information. You don't write so and so road, London, England, Earth. You don't need it.
What other words are you annoyed by? Other words are out there. You're thinking, why is that there? Because we do not need it.
It's one of them where I come across something. They're not always in my head. It's just I'm trying to think of something that I've seen recently. That's a word.
I'll say
I
some
mean-
words, Carl. You tell me whether you like them or not. Okay? Yeah? Route.
What sort of route are we talking about?
Good question. What about a pre-planned journey?
No,
As in-
I don't need it. You just go, which way are you going? I thought you meant beetroot.
A
That's
root
all right.
vegetable.
What you like? You don't mind beetroot?
Depends what I'm having.
He doesn't mean the food. He means you don't mind the word existing. This is because you have such a limited vocabulary that it annoys you and intimidates you that people are using words, correct words, the correct English language.
Are you happy with chair? Should we keep chair?
It works. It's fine.
Are you happy with the chair you sit on, or the chair who's in charge of like a forum or a meeting? What would we call a bloke who's in charge of a meeting?
Chief.
Chief. Okay. What about bloke who's in charge of a
some
group
Native
of
Americans.
Native Americans.
I don't know any. Again, not going to affect my life.
No, but what would you call him? He's a bloke who's in charge of all the Indian, all the
Seriously, not a problem
Yes,
to
but
me.
it's a problem for someone, so
Yeah,
you've got to have a
who's
word for
Head
it.
chief.
Head chief.
Oh, so he's that means he's the bloke in charge of people who are in charge of meetings.
That's
No,
confused.
you've got-
I'm confused. I don't know
Yeah,
who
I'm
you're talking
confused,
about, mate.
actually. I'm confused here.
I mean, some words I know you're not happy with. There are certain numbers you're not keen on. What about number 7? Would you get rid of that?
I've heard about that tribe where it is just like they have 3. They say that's all they need in their life. 1, 2, 3.
Really?
Yeah, give us 3 of them. And then actually gives another 2 with them 3. It's all like just easy.
I love the fact that they're still saying they're talking like that.
Still down the market.
Yeah. We should have a word for this 3 and this 2. Nah, fuck it. I very rarely want 3 then 2. Keep it 3 then 2. How many do you need now? Just 1 and another one. We'll say 2. Oh yeah, I could say 2. Yeah. Do you want one more? If I wanted 3, I'd say 3. Do you want one more? Yeah, go on, give us 3 and 1. As the writer and pioneering ecologist Rachel Carson once wrote, "Those who dwell among the beauties and mysteries of the earth are never alone or weary of life. Earth, third rock from the sun, and the only known planet in the universe to accommodate life, was formed about 5 billion years ago. Extensively covered by saltwater oceans, it supports a myriad of organisms, the most evolved of which is man. Yet how we humans interact with our world could be sowing the seeds of our own destruction. With environmental concerns still high on the political agenda, what is the future of life on Earth? How are we coping with the threat of global warming, and is our newfound ecological concern too little too late?" To discuss the past, present and future of the Earth, I'm joined by Stephen Merchant, award-winning writer and graduate of the University of Warwick.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington. Oh, look at his round-head, the can!
Alright.
I've been hit by global warming recently, Rick, a couple of times actually.
Go on.
I don't want to be one of those people that's like, oh, you know, because of the snow and the rain, and that's obviously to do with global warming, but it probably is. I was flying out to the States, you know, just hopping over stateside.
Yeah.
And on the old plane, it was one of those bleak, kind of snowy days recently. They got us all on the plane. We sat on the runway for 4.5 hours. Right. 4.5 hours while they de-iced the plane. Now, it's good that they de-iced it, but I don't want to be told that the plane needs de-icing. I didn't know planes could get iced in a way that they needed to be de-iced. Sometimes, Rick, if it's a chilly morning, right, got the old car, what I'll do is I'll pop the engine on,
Yeah.
okay, let it warm up, pop inside, have another cup of tea, come back out, it's lovely and warm and toasty in there. That's what I'd like to have seen them do with the old plane.
Pilot.
Yeah.
The pilot goes, "Don't you get on yet? Let me
Exactly,
run
let me
around the
warm it
block."
up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, when it's up at 30,000 feet, it's like minus 50,
Well, this is
60
it.
degrees.
This must get iced up anyway.
So-
There's not some guy on the wing
doesn't
scraping
get
with one of
out,
those little
no.
plastic things.
Yeah,
You don't see if you've got a window seat.
We got to put in here. We got to put in here for a while. It's iced up.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, but also, I didn't see anyone de-icing, so I don't know how they do it. It's not presumably with, you know, like I sometimes use a CD case if I haven't got one of those scrapers.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, I don't know if
Yeah.
there was people with, you know, probably with a vinyl record scraping away, but, yeah, 4.5 hours to de-ice it. Bunch of people on there whinging and phoning and calling and making me annoyed anyway. Get to, Los Angeles, City of Angels. Famously, you know, glorious weather all year round. That's why people move there. Pissed down with rain the entire time I was there.
I know, you hit the storm. I think I moved out of LA and went to New York the day before it turned horrible, didn't I?
The problem was, I hired a car, right, and I was going to get a relatively cheap car. They persuaded me to upgrade to a Mercedes convertible. I thought, yeah, I'll look good driving around LA, you know, and that. Couldn't use the top down, obviously. Every day I'd get in this car, every day it would be pouring with rain. I could hear it splattering on the fabric roof, thinking, I just paid the odds for this. And, you know, every time there'd be a break in this cloud, I would instantly stop and lower this thing and drive around sub-zero temperatures just to have the top down.
I would like to have
Even though
seen
it's still
you,
cloudy and grim.
like, you know, at 85 degrees, just whizzing down the freeway at 90 miles an hour,
Yeah.
but your glasses would fly off.
They
wouldn't
would. This is the problem. It's what I've never really thought. Plus, I lost my sunglasses, so I have to wear a hat in order to keep the sun out of my eyes. And all I had, well, I thought I need to take it out with me. All I had was a kind of what I like to think is a rather fashionable Justin Timberlake style trilby.
Oh, it's not
I
that
don't-
hat that makes you look like one of Bill and Ben.
See, I think it makes me look like a like Tom Waits or a sort of 1960s news reporter.
Oh, right.
But you,
I thought Bill and Ben.
You
I thought Bill and Ben the flower pot man.
The problem with it is when I bought it, again, I was suckered into it. A bloke sold it to me, told me. He was a street vendor and he told me I looked amazing in it. I'll be honest. I honestly gave him the cash straight away.
Did you have a game of Find the Lady with him as well?
I'm beginning to wonder if I was part of his sales patter, and he wasn't just a lovely fellow who's trying to help me out. But yeah, it's not quite big enough, so instead of sort of pulling in tight down by the ears, it sort of sits pork pie-esque on top of my head.
Right.
And it is in danger of flying off. It did fly off into the back seat when I was driving. Luckily, I could stop and pop it back on again. But yeah,
that's great.
It didn't fly off, and you know, you don't want that as you're cruising past a couple of sort of Playboy bunny types in an open-top Cadillac, and you're just grinning to them, and your hat flies off.
Or it hits a big Hell's Angel on a chopper behind you
Of course,
in the
yeah.
face. He's
Yeah,
good.
he's
He
flapping
scratches his
around.
bike. You stop and you go, "It's my hat."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Is it?"
Exactly. What annoyed me was, I was with my mates and we were driving around and we had a bunch of friends and, they said, oh, can you pick up a couple of friends of ours? And we picked them up, a couple of girls. I thought, well, ding dong, here we are. Good looking girls. They got in the car. Instantly we were going, there's not much leg room. I was thinking, for God's sake, it's a bloody Mercedes! I couldn't even impress them with it. It's costing me fortune. I thought like, go, this is a lovely bit of motor, but no, whinging straight away, never met before. First thing they say.
Yeah.
See, now my image of an Englishman is essentially that cliched one. It is, I think, Hugh Grant.
So you're modern. You're straight away modern
or
now.
I would say it's either mixed between Hugh Grant and Roger Moore when he was James Bond.
You see,
know what I mean?
that's another small percentage of Englishness that sort of annoys me. Those people that think they're James Bond. They think they can buy a suit and read GQ, and they're suave and sophisticated, and they get cars they can't afford. Or what they basically do, the people who think they're James Bond, all they do is work in a bank, come home, and flick through GQ at the adverts, looking at people with wearing watches and aftershave. Who wears aftershave?
Do you wear aftershave, Carl?
Normally, aftershave is the sort of thing I let other people buy me. It's like underpants, tea towels, and sort of aftershave and that. Other people buying me.
Who's buying you tea towels?
My mum.
Right.
My mum,
Okay.
every time she turns up, she's got Brilla pads and stuff. I've got loads of them. I keep saying to her, I don't need any of this, but she always brings a box full of stuff. Brilla pads, tea towels, underpants. The underpants size hasn't gone up since I was 14. But I can rely on her for that.
So do you not have anything in your life which you would think of as being gentlemanly? Do you ever dress smartly? What about suits?
I bought one suit that time when you invited me to the BAFTAs. That's the only suit. I wore it for the BAFTAs. I think I wore it for one other thing. I haven't wore it since. I don't feel comfortable. It's not me.
But don't you go to a
That'd be a
wedding?
lovely advert, wouldn't it? Him with a suit on going, I haven't wore it since. Karl Pilkington hasn't wore it since.
I don't go to weddings. No, I don't like going to them.
I agree.
I mean, even though you know them, they don't give you any time when you're there, do they? They just they don't know whether you're there or not. They're on cloud 9. They don't know who's around. It doesn't matter. You don't need to be there.
With them on a wedding day, it's all me, isn't it?
Oh, what are they like?
I know, unbelievable.
You don't even get to make a speech, do you?
Although I know you were annoyed, Steve. Steve doesn't like to part with money. I don't know what the politically correct term is. Stingy cunt, isn't he? He's fucking mean, right? And if he ever has to spend out on like a wedding gift to someone he's known, all his life, he'll look down the list and he'll find things under £25. Then if he bothers spending that much, he's furious when an usher goes, just stick it there.
Oh, it drives me insane. Well, firstly, I'm annoyed about the wedding list. I don't know when that's come along, because I don't know why I can't just bring maybe something I've made at home. No. Why has there got to be a list of stuff?
What newly married bride doesn't want a pair of homemade clogs?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
And then you arrive there and it's just, oh, thanks very much, stick it on the table. But saying that, I think people very much appreciate you being at their wedding.
No,
They do. They remember if you were there.
No, they don't.
They do.
They don't.
You don't get invited to weddings because you ain't got any mates.
No, I've got to know enough people. Everyone's getting married. But they're always in the middle of nowhere.
That annoys me when people say, come to our wedding. Yeah, fine, we're in Greece.
Yeah.
Well, no, down the road. I might make it down the road for the reception.
Yeah.
Go to Greece. What? You want me to book a holiday and come to your wedding?
Well, the thing that drives me insane when you do go is when they put you on a table with people you don't know.
Well,
I got all my mates there, and they put because I got to mingle with some people. I don't care. I need these.
But that's what I'm not good at. Talking to people once. Talking to people who you don't know.
No.
What sort of stuff would you make conversation about at a wedding?
I'd probably say, first of all, how do you know them? How do you know the people getting married? And then, do you think it'll last?
Imagine Imagine inviting Karl Pilkington to it and going, oh, where should we put him? Oh, I don't know. Is there a table for one? Oh, just
You've got a table with the kids.
imagine being stuck with Karl Pilkington at a wedding. Yeah, what else? So you've asked them to think it'll last. They've gone, I'm sorry? Who are you? Karl Pilkington from Manchester. Right. Yes, we think it'll last. What else would you ask? So what's your next? You know it's going badly. They're sort of like looking down their nose at you. They're thinking, why did they invite this bald-headed scum?
There's just the last wedding I went to. It's going back a couple of years, but everyone seems a bit snidey. Do you know what I mean? Because you've got a mixture of families there, haven't you?
Yeah.
And none of them really like each other.
No.
And I got stuck with an old fella who had a flatulence problem.
That's why it's fun.
And then he went on to say it doesn't matter, the suit's hired. And it's just kind of...
I'm gonna die!
I just don't like him.
I love it. He's basically saying at a wedding, it doesn't matter if I shit myself. Oh. To be born English is to win first prize in the lottery of life. So what do you think of that, Carl?
Maybe it's that thing that I don't appreciate what I've got. But to me, being English isn't anything that great.
Really?
Why not?
Because it's just what I've been dealt with.
But what would you, I mean, I know you know nothing about the world.
You've travelled nowhere. You've seen nothing.
Yeah. But if you could be any nationality, what would you be and why?
Probably be Italian.
Okay. Why?
Well, just yeah, I like the idea of it. I like Italians are alright.
Where would you live? Rome?
I probably wouldn't want to be in the middle of Rome. It's too much hassle.
Have you been to Rome?
Yeah, it's nice to visit and stuff, but it's just I wouldn't want to live there. You've got to get paperwork done and that if you just want to put a picture up, because everything's old, everything's listed.
He's
hassle.
only been Italian about 3 minutes and he's already slacking it off.
He's already
No,
whinging.
but I like Rome.
Yeah.
It's good. A lot of old stuff.
Why have you chosen Italy? I'm interested to know why of all the countries you've chosen Italy.
I was a late comer to pasta.
But it's won you round.
I like it now. It's like one of my favourite things I have. Which there isn't really anything like that in England. That even though
Well, except pasta.
Pasta's
No,
almost
but it's-
exactly like it.
Yeah,
but it's not.
we've got pasta, haven't
It's
we?
not ours though, is it? And we
No,
don't know
we've
how
got-
to eat it.
What do you mean we don't know how to eat it?
We do it all wrong.
You stick it up your arse again.
Look at me, I know how to fucking eat it.
No, but what I mean is, if you saw a proper Italian and they saw what we did to pasta, they would not be happy.
What are we doing wrong? Tell me what we're doing wrong
Well, I
with
don't
pasta.
know that, otherwise we wouldn't be doing
Well,
it
how
wrong.
do you know
we're doing it
how do you
wrong?
know
I've
they
just
don't?
heard we do it wrong. It's like how we have the coffee at all the wrong times. I ordered a cappuccino somewhere and the Italian fella said you shouldn't be having that now, it's a breakfast coffee.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Before 12 o'clock,
Yeah, but I was having it at like 11:15 at night.
Oh,
It looks
wow.
like I
Well,
was
that's
mental.
absurd. How are you going to get to sleep with a lovely cup of coffee?
Yeah, that's
Well,
a
I
good
don't
point.
sleep anyway,
You
do
shouldn't
I?
drink coffee anyway at night. There was
That's
cappuccino
stupid.
or
No wonder he was
frappuccino
right to say
or mocha. Doesn't matter. Don't drink coffee after about 4 in the afternoon anyway, full stop.
So, hang on. So you love pasta, but you're not eating it right, so you'd like to be Italian in order to be able to eat pasta correctly, even though you enjoy the pasta you
What
eat.
do you feel being Italian is, and what's
It's just,
attractive
it's
to
just
being...
very sort of, it's a relaxed lifestyle. Whenever you go to Italy, everyone's sat outside a cafe. It doesn't matter what sort of person you
Carl,
are.
that's all you do now with your spare time is
Yes,
sit outside a cafe.
But they get more respect over there. For
Why?
it. It's like, it's okay to do that. There's older people sat outside cafes who do nothing.
I
and it's
love the
just
fact that he
they're
wants to
probably
be
retired.
Italian so he can sit outside a cafe and get more respect than he does now sitting outside a cafe.
No, but everyone's rushing about here. People have like colder coffee. They have frappuccinos here because they haven't got time to have a hot coffee. It's like they've got a coffee with ice in so I can neck it. Get it down my neck and get on with my day. Relax, enjoy your coffee. I don't understand the rush.
You never enjoy anything. You said that you don't enjoy anything. You don't enjoy a coffee. When you're having a coffee, you're probably going, oh, I don't know if I can enjoy it yet, in retrospect. And tomorrow I'll go, I like that coffee yesterday.
But the reason you enjoy Italy is because when you were there, you're on holiday. That's why you're able to chill out and
No,
relax.
no.
When you say it's old people sat in some little Sicilian village. Of course they got no money.
Here, I went to the Salvation Army
Right.
Why?
because it's nice.
What do you mean?
You can get toast and a cup of tea for £1.
Carl, you little skinflint.
Right.
You little roundy
There's
heady
nothing
Scrooge.
skinflinty about that. That's just that should be the going rate, Steve. I'm surprised I haven't seen you in there, to be honest. But the thing is,
Where is it?
now just near Camden.
What is it? Is it like old people?
A lot of old people, mainly old people. And this is what I'm saying. These are people who are old and they sat in a cafe, but they don't get any respect. People are walking past and they don't want to go in. The way you reacted when I said I was in the Salvation Army, that's the reaction they get. Yet an old Italian person, they looked after better.
Well, it's certainly true they look after their older families, don't they?
Right,
They do
and
respect
that's
their
what I'm
family.
saying. Whereas, I mean, it's a lovely place, Salvation Army. Every old fella in there's got a tie on.
Yeah.
They make an effort.
And that chokes me when I see an old boy still put a shirt and tie on. He's 90. He's like been through hardship, and yet on a Sunday they're still shining their shoes, and you know what I mean.
I mean, you sometimes can't even bother to put your trousers on.
I know. Mine got an elasticated waistband,
Yeah.
and they're still fiddling with braces and buttons.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, that's what I like about Italians and that. There's a lot of.
So you want to be
respect.
Italian because when you're old, you can sit outside a cafe and get more respect than you do here.
Yeah, look at the old people in this country. They never look happy, do they? Really. Most of the time, when you see them walking around, they go to pot. No one's keeping an eye on them.